Well, hi, everybody. I'm Don Stewart, and welcome to our second edition of Breaking News for this Sunday, the 7th day of September, 2025. And right now, we have a huge developing story that's in a state of flux. We're going to give all of our attention during this edition of Breaking News to this story, and as we explain it, you'll soon understand why. All right, here's from the Jerusalem Post. Donald Trump has said this afternoon that Israel has accepted my terms for a hostage deal. This is Hamas's last warning. Hamas claimed to Sky News Arabia that they are considering Trump's proposal with a positive spirit and reaffirmed their desires for a full IDF withdrawal from the Gaza Strip. U.S. President Donald Trump said Israel has agreed to a new U.S.-backed hostage deal and warned Hamas it must accept it as well in a post on Truth Social on Sunday. He said this: "Everyone wants the hostages home. Home is all uppercase letters. Everyone wants this war to end. The Israelis have accepted my terms. It's time for Hamas to accept as well. I have warned Hamas about the consequences of not accepting. This is my last warning. There will not be another one. Thank you for your attention to the matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America," the Post read. So a new U.S.-backed proposal has been delivered to Hamas over the past few days in an effort to secure the release of the hostages held in the Gaza Strip, sources told the Jerusalem Post today on Sunday. The initiative, conveyed through Israeli negotiator Gershon Baskin and Dr. Bashar Ababa, outlines a comprehensive framework aimed at ending the ongoing conflict. Now, Hamas is going to make a statement here. And their statement does not in any way accept what the terms of the agreement are. But listen to what they say. Hamas claimed that, quote, "it is ready to immediately sit at the negotiating table to discuss the release of all hostages in exchange for a clear declaration of an end to the war, a full withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, and the formation of a committee to administer the Gaza Strip from independent Palestinians, which will assume its work immediately," in an official statement published by the terror group on Sunday night. Hamas also claimed that it, quote, "welcomes any move that contributes to the efforts being made to halt the aggression of our people." In addition, they told Sky News it is considering Trump's proposal with a positive spirit and that relevant parties are handling the proposal with great responsibility. Now, that's what Hamas said, but this is not Trump's proposal. What does Trump's back deal entail? Okay, here's Trump's plan. According to the plan, Hamas would release all 48 hostages, including those to be believed to be alive and the bodies of the dead, on the first day of the agreement. In exchange, U.S. President Donald Trump would offer a personal assurance that hostilities would not resume until negotiations between Israel and Hamas yield a resolution. The proposal also calls for the release of between 2,000 and 3,000 Palestinian security prisoners, including those convicted of murder. It further stipulates the cancellation of Israel's planned military Operation Gaza City, as well as the immediate start of talks to bring the war to a close. During the proposal, Israeli troops would remain in parts of the Gaza Strip, maintaining a limited presence in designated zones. Sources familiar with the negotiations said Hamas is unlikely to accept the terms. Now, we can't see them accepting that at all. Hamas would essentially be giving up the hostages on day one in return for a presidential guarantee, one source told the Jerusalem Post. As important as that might be, what happens if the negotiations collapse? Hamas would lose all of its leverage. A senior official close to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel is giving various consideration to the proposal, although he acknowledged the likelihood of Hamas continuing its refusal. Now we hear from the hostage families. The hostage families respond to the deal proposed. The Hostage Family Forum respond to the news of the proposal, saying, "If the proposal attributed to President Trump has indeed been placed on the table, it represents a true breakthrough. President Trump has presented an agreement for the immediate release of all 48 hostages, alongside a full halt to the war for the duration of the negotiations. The personal guarantee of the President of the United States is a historic step without precedent. Such an agreement would advance a broader regional settlement, secure the release of all hostages, allow soldiers and reservists to return home to rebuild their families and livelihoods, and lay the foundation for Israel's security, ending a war that has dragged on for nearly 2 years. We call on the government of Israel to declare its unequivocal support for the emerging agreement and then to provide President Trump with their full backing until every hostage returns home. The living for rehabilitation, and the fallen for a dignified burial in their homeland," the statement concluded. All right, so that is the end of the article from the Jerusalem Post. And it's interesting. When I read what the article said, I was about to write something, but then, of course, I read our friend Larry Goldstein, and Larry has the best comment of all, as usual. And here's what he says, and this kind of sums it all up, sums up what I was going to say. Do you believe Hamas will accept this? If you were in a position where you had to rely on the president's promise forever, emphasizing bold print. Would you do it? This is a noble effort by Trump. I think very highly of him, and he has made this attempt, but I don't see how it can fly. Indeed, Hamas would have to give up all leverage, meaning the hostages with the hostages and withdraw their demand for Israel to immediately leave Gaza. Now, what's going to probably happen? They're likely going to come back with a counter proposal that would be impossible for Israel to accept. We will have to wait till tomorrow to find out since it's now close to 1 a.m. as we're recording this in Jerusalem. And we should know a lot more by tomorrow morning, our time, some 13 hours from now. We'll do a breaking news early tomorrow morning to let you know. This is something to really pray about. So please do this. The worrisome thing here is Hamas will give a counter proposal that won't be acceptable to Israel, but there'll be unfortunately the hostage families and certain leftists in Israel because they hate Netanyahu. You got to accept it. You got to accept it. You got to accept it. No, see Hamas. Notice in their response, we'll accept one if Israel withdraws totally from the Gaza Strip and allows some neutral group to come in, meaning they can stay in power and rebuild, and that cannot be a possibility. So it's either a yes or no, a thumbs up or thumbs down it seems to be given by Donald Trump, and it's definitely a thumbs down for Hamas. They will not put themselves in this position in any way, shape, or form. We can't imagine them doing it. But we'll wait and see. So tomorrow we'll know again about 13 hours from now. We'll try and do a early morning recording as we often do here for breaking news. But we had a bunch of other stories we're going to do today. I kept putting it off because this story kept developing, and now it's gotten to the place where it is the only story, the story. So we'll keep you posted on this. So again, please pray. I'm Don Stewart. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, as always, may the Lord richly, richly bless.